You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
How are ye?
And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of July the 29th to August the 4th. Starting with Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, Episode 4, Flight Attendant of the Dead. In which we get added to the book of things to do before we get turned into a zombie. Want to be a stand-up comedian. And it's like, hey, that's my book. Why are you putting your dreams in my book?
I suppose that's good. They all get a little bit of it, like entries into it.
And it's like, well, I'm your best friend, and if I'm helping you knock those things off the list, it'll make it easier, right? And if it's a zombie apocalypse, guys, would you play a zombie shooter game? Because I feel like that's one of the last games I'd play. You know,
that's all like we're talking about there again. Like, no, but we're watching films the same way. It's just like
watching Outbreak. Yeah.
How you can have fun rationalize yourself with what's actually going on around you. It's seeing the sort of abstracted like thing of it. It's just like, oh yeah, I've been sort of like inured to this via pop culture for most of my life.
And Akira expresses his desire to want to get a girlfriend, and he's going to get one right now. And then they look over they're playing on the roof, and they look over into the streets where they just see a zombie woman fall over and start farting. Kensho's like, "Good luck."
Yeah, because he's accidentally egging him on. Where man's getting really jealous. He's just like, "Oh man, I'm totally going to get a girlfriend. Not only am I going on a high class date, I'm going to go on a high class date with an air hostess." And this is like, I mean, you got a limited selection right now, because of most people being zombies. So, but in the meantime, how about we fulfill your need for a big screen TV so you can binge video games? That's one we can do. We just need to go steal a TV downtown at the Electronics World kind of store,
Yeah, so they go steal a TV downtown, but then they can't get downtown because a fireman zombie is now shooting fire from his hose.
Topsy-turvy world,
Yeah, this is problem number one I have with this show at this point. I feel like there needs to be rules to these zombies.
See, I think it's zombie tropes have also infected the world, because there's a truck driver, there's a semi full of propane or whatever, like barreling down the road, and the zombie driver and his zombie dog, and I was like, when did you motherfuckers get turned? Because it's been like a couple of days since the zombie apocalypse started at this rate. So
well, there seems to be some like fun Resident Evil fucking T-virus shenanigans going on, because the way it kind of morphs and mutates some of them.
And Resident Evil is a good example. So like really hyper-blown action movie type stuff is going to happen. That's just inevitable in the zombie apocalypse.
Now we're talking about these magical zombies like raised by voodoo, because I'm not sure any virus can like transmogrify water into fire like that.
That's the problem I've got. I'm fine with the zombie thing of they carry on acting out their human behaviors as a zombie.
They do what they know.
But then to somehow actively be spraying fire on things. So not only is he reversed his normal behavior, wanted to put out fires, he's wanted to start fires, he's somehow reversed the behavior of the fire. Is the fire engine a zombie as well, and it's reversed behavior? And but the truck driver is still behaving like a truck driver and eating a hamburger as he's doing it.
Well, he's just groaning while holding a hamburger. He's being very truck driver. Like, just a quick shot of the fireman having hooked his hose up to like a gas main rather than the water main.
That's like it's probably like if fucking like one like a truck, fucking like a gas like cylinder truck lying around right there. You could have picked up that.
It's still not how a fire hose works, but at least it would explain it somewhat. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the narrative is beginning to test my patience by this episode.
But then I kind of have a wonder as well. Probably don't think too much. It could one of those things. Don't think too much into it. Just thought it'd be a funny panel to put into comics. So that's what got made. So it's like at times certainly with what they're kind of doing, zombies like they seem secondary. It's about the people, man. It's about the psychology of them.
It's about the little human stories.
Yeah, they're trying my patience as well. And so they escape this would-be fireball by Akira makes a stuntman-like jump over a crashed car into the underground subway shopping centre, where, of course, there are more zombies. They escape by climbing under a what do they call those things you put down in
barriers
shops?
close
Shutters.
the shops.
Yeah, shutters. That's the word I'm looking
That's
for.
it. Yeah.
Which had just got enough room for somebody to slide under, and then they pulled it down and discovered there was 4 more people already in here. Why those 4 people hadn't pulled it down, I don't know. And then they end up having a stereotypical Japanese, what are they called?
A mixer.
That's the word.
Nomikai.
For some reason they don't use the word mixer in the translation.
It's wine and dine or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, they could have just called it a mixer. It's like, we've watched anime, guys. We know what the term is for this thing.
I've played the Yakuza
there's
games.
a word like nomikai for a drinking party, which can be after work crowd, or it could
introducing
be a
people.
like this.
Yeah.
So essentially, this is now chopping mall, but with zombies instead of murderous robot security devices.
Well, I was just thinking like Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, so I mean, like shopping malls and zombies, like that's stereotype.
I know, but the pairing off and shagging in a shopping mall is shopping mall.
That happened in the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
There you go.
I've not seen that because it's a Zachary Stein film. I don't like his films. I suspect he got it from shopping mall. But so they all end up pairing off, and it turns out the guy who was already in there had been bitten and he was turned into a zombie, and then
the guy who hasn't contributed anything to the mixer except for we're all gonna die is like he was hiding a bite.
Nobody. Yeah.
You know that
you all
trope.
know him.
That one, yeah. There's always one.
Yeah. And then eventually, everybody dies apart from our heroes.
Yeah, they all get killed. Now Sencho, he at least got he got some action before everything went down. But Akira's having a real kind of heart to heart with the other one, because it's like so I got a boyfriend, so I don't like you in that way. I'm saying that's okay. It's just nice to have around and going, oh my god, the zombies! I know it's just like it's just kind of like pat me in the back to reassure me now, even in this dark situation, isn't just like the flight attendant's training. It's just like it's inherent kindness in this person, and I'm very sorry she's dead.
Yeah, so it kind of goes like comedy where he's really bad at mixers, and also this is not the appropriate situation to have at mixers, even though his friend is fucking killing it and doing a great job considering the zombie apocalypse.
That was kind of part of his job as well, was with
talking to people, meet and greet, that kind of thing. But I did like the way he's like, I'm gonna snort this bottle of tequila to impress everyone. It's just like, it did lighten the mood, but it did also mean that you're throwing up later. So she's patting his back, and she's like, because he was asking what it is you wanted to do, because she was unsure about her career as an air hostess now that the world has ended. And I'm just like, there's more important things now. Don't worry about that guy who gave out to you on Tuesday, because later in the week the world has ended. We're fine. But she's like, no, helping people, like patting you on the back while you're getting ill. That's the thing an air hostess did for me. So it's something that I wanted to help other people. I've been eaten by a zombie. I've helped you by pushing you away and getting eaten by this zombie, taking the hit for you. And I'm just like, Jesus, that's dark, because it goes from the kind of humor to the human thing to the death. And it's just like, and your man's just like, oh my god, I just killed someone, and also I had sex. Also, I stole a TV. Let's fucking go.
Okay, let's go through. I'll rub my feelings.
We don't have time for that. We don't have time to deal with that.
We'll go back to partying on the roof with a bigger TV.
And adding to the list, remember what my childhood dream was. So maybe I can achieve it someday. Yeah.
Yeah. The funniest part I thought was Kensho worrying that he can't become a stand-up comedian because he can't do it.
There's such a long process, and you got to go through the producers and the thing of it.
Yes. I'm too old to go to a theatrical school. I can't get an agent.
Do you need an agent to take your clothes off? He's like, you're just assuming that's my one bit. And the thing he does later is he takes all his clothes off and does like the bucket dance. And I'm just like, yeah, that is your one bit, dude. Like taking all your clothes off is your go-to joke.
But you gotta go independent, you gotta get out there on the tubes, man. Let's get out in the socials. That's how you do get by in this modern day and age. If we had a working like infrastructure that would possibly broadcast any of that. But hey, let's put that in the lists. Reestablish communications and internet.
The main problem this episode has is nothing to do with the comic. It's to do with the fact that we've got opening credits which show all the main characters, and none of these new characters introduced this episode are in the opening credits. So you're like,
yeah.
Okay,
Like, I think they were trying to get away with it the last episode, where it's like, oh god, is his best friend going to die? Because in the opening, it's a completely different blonde guy, and as we know, anime characters cannot change their hair. So it was just like, are they trying to like get away with it? It's just like, you think he could die, but it's like, no, that's clearly him who's bleached his hair.
Yeah.
Next week, no episode because they've already hit production problems.
Whammo.
Which makes you think maybe they shouldn't have been so hard on their former employer in episode 1 of using OLM's logo, thinly disguised logo as
This
the black
is you.
company. Particularly when clearly they've got multiple shows on at the moment, all of which managed to come out weekly. Yeah, so nothing next week. I'm beginning to lose my patience with this show. It's just, I think maybe I've just seen too many zombie things, and it can't impress me.
It's hard to do a zombie thing uniquely in a way that's really satisfying.
Yeah, and I think to do that now, you've got to have some sort of coherent rules to the zombies.
Like the last 2 zombie things I really enjoyed was it's a Korean movie. I think it's called like #Alive or something like that. It's got a terrible translated name, but it was made pre-COVID, but it's about being locked in your apartment during the zombie apocalypse and trying to make human connections. And I was like, fucking perfect movie for lockdown. And what was that one? Not Blood Libel. What was it? It's about like this Native American, actually they might be Canadian, but native reservation kind of thing. And white people are the only people who can catch zombification, and they have to fucking like it. It's good. It's a comment on the fucking blood libel, race, fucking laws, and that kind of shit. And also it's a good zombie movie from a very different perspective and setting than you'd be used to. So, like, other than that, it's difficult, man. I haven't seen many good zombie things in recent years.
Let's see what, like, you know, when we get the 4th one, it's like kind of some kind of stereotypical gaijin character, and you can add anything to it.
That could be fun. Yeah. To stick in a complete otaku in the mix, I was like, maybe, I don't know, we'll see.
Maybe we'll see. I mean, this for something. I know this. I think this episode is mostly outsourced, which is why it came out at all. It still looks really good in this episode. It's not like the wheels are falling off it. Visually, so clearly they have fallen off it because it's not running at all next to it. Back on August the 13th. Then we've got Dark Gathering, one of those aforementioned OLM shows. Episode 4, Eiko Hozuki. We're all off to our first day at university. What do you think I should wear, says Eiko. Pick one. Come on, pick one now.
A coat, any coat. Okay, we'll drive. Now, you can take longer to decide.
Yes, I was disappointed they didn't say "let's go" when they got in the car, as they've always done. I think in the previous episodes, but they make up for it later on in the episode when they say "let's go."
I thought they always did the "let's ghost" thing. Yeah,
okay.
Yes.
The little kid starts it, and then Eiko finishes it with ghost.
Gotcha. Okay, that shows you haven't been paying attention. Yeah, so they go to college, and Eiko's instantly popular because she's world famous for her high-level informatics.
She's a nerd.
The nerds all want her to join all the nerd clubs. All the girls are really impressed with this. They all want to get selfies with her. They all want to exchange information. And then they're not paying attention to the guy who got the highest score because he's walking around with a girl. It's like, who's that fucking guy with a little girl? What the fuck is his deal?
But he's a creepy nerd. What classes should we go to? How about urban myths? You know, the fucking like all the stuff you're really afraid of. Okay, you go ahead. This is going to be a kind of Eiko thing. Why is she so kind of drawn to this? She's just like interested in kind of the folklore, and that's what she's naturally. You go come across some like spooky stories doing that.
And we get the flashback to a scene we didn't see last episode where Yoi had figured out that the photo that Eiko was showing of the nerve-ridden hand was actually her hand.
Because it was a left hand rather than his right hand. So it's like, that's right. It was my hand. I've been wearing gloves this whole time because I have exactly the same curve. It's like, yeah, we know. We figured it out. Yeah. Thanks, Joe.
The big reveal. So we get a better reveal at the end of the episode.
Yeah, that is a much better one.
So the lecturer has brought in this video that if you watch it, it's a video of an artist setting himself on fire, and if you watch it, you swap places with the artist as you're watching it, and then you will end up setting yourself on fire.
You'll be the person who ends up setting yourself on fire. Like, that's apparently this haunted video that I'm about to show you as an introduction to my class, that to make you want to go to my... I was like, no, that sounds terrible.
But it's clear he says he's already watched it, and the thing he sees wasn't there when he's previously watched it. So they watch it, and of course, Kitaro is the one who ends up inside the video, seeing himself being set on fire. And then the teacher switches everything off and needs to go and speak with a colleague as to what to do, because this is what the video was when he looked at it earlier. And so then it's Yayoi's turn to shine as she exercises the VHS tape, which involves putting salt on it.
Pour salt in the VHS tape and holds a little doll, a straw doll underneath to make its blood pour into
the blood out of it.
Now it's in this doll. I'm going to put it in this box and make it watch its own video, which I recorded on a tablet. So it'll be cursed with its own fucking curse. See how you like that, motherfucker?
It's going to resist quite strongly, though, and because we can't defer this work, we can't have a particular thing on us, can't burn us directly, but it can burn our clothing and our surroundings.
It's a straw doll and it's not wearing clothes, so it can burn the clothes you're wearing, which is still on you, which will still burn you. We're still in trouble.
So get just a thing at home and take care of this.
The amazing plan they've got is Kitaro take all his clothes off except wrap his jacket around his hand, stick his hand out the window of the car, then get Eiko to drive at high speeds while the spirit is watching the video, and we run around.
Sat on her lap in the box, yeah.
Putting the fire out by going at high speeds until the ghost has cursed itself by watching its own video.
I like the logic at which they apply haunting rules. It's like, well, it can set fire to you, but if it does, it's watching its own video. It'll have to set fire to itself. It can set fire to your clothes. What if I was only wearing clothes on my hand? Hey, smart guy. You know, it's a lot of fun logic puzzle stuff. It's good.
Yes, because they have to leave some clothes on him because otherwise it'll set fire to the car.
Because he'd be wearing the car technically. Yeah.
It's able to change the traffic lights, possibly, or that might just be them misinterpreting the traffic lights.
It's control of the law of the rules of fate itself. This is more powerful demon than we realized.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course they manage to save Kitaro again. The ghost gets thrown in the room with all the other ghosts.
Pick him away, toys.
And we see just how happy Eiko is because she loves Kitaro and she loves spooky things.
And it basically, throughout the episode, he'd been slightly confessing things to her, like when she's like, "Which outfit should I wear?" He's like, "You look great in whatever you wear." It's like, And later on, he's like, "I don't want anyone else I love to get hurt. We can't do this crazy plan of driving in a flammable car downtown." It's just like, well, either that or take public transport, and that's going to be even worse, right? So, he's admitted to it several times, but she's also a weird creep. Everyone's a weird creep in this fucking show.
Yep. She's got loads of what appear to be spirit photos of Kitaro. So it's not just photos of him, it's him
smashing
with
Polaroid cameras and all since the first day they met.
It's like she's got a little because it's built around a computer, my brain is like, that's a podcasting booth. It's like a little podcasting booth that's just wallpapered with photos of him being currently haunted. So it's not just that it's a photo of him, it's the fact that it's a photo of him that's creepy, that's spooky, and him, the two things that she's into.
Yeah, yes. The sideways crescent moon smile, so you know she's well into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's where we leave it. So we know now that all three of our leads have got well, the two of our leads have reasons to force Kitaro into terrible situations that he doesn't want to get himself in.
Kitaro definitely has a subconscious pull to these kind of because he gets some kind of sick thrill out of it or something.
He's getting a thrill out of it, but also he keeps convincing himself as man, if I stick around with this creepy little girl and this other girl who I haven't realized is creepy, maybe I can cure me and her. That'll be great. And it's so I can keep going on adventures that I hate so that I can cure being on these adventures that I hate.
Yes, because his worry about doing this is yes, it'll save Eiko, but will it drive me away from her, not realizing that, no, it is going to drive him further into her arms. Because this is what she loves, is him and spooky things. We also learned that it was the reason they're both cursed is her fault. She dared him to come with him on this challenge here in the house.
A bravery challenge kind of thing. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a fun episode because it was a nice little standalone mystery to deal with. It also gave us sort of character stuff for the three of them.
Yeah, it had a good little sort of a kind of recurrent thing. We're at the last 2 minutes of the episode. Let's go back to the house. We go off and put the ghost into the ghost trap. And put it into the containment unit. But they're just going to drop a little bit of extra something in there as well and say, no, the day is saved and all is well. Except for, and then on the
it does the happy ending and then it does the creepy ending right after to ruin it, which is it's well done. I think one of the things that's doing it is because I'm reading along with it as the chapters are being released on the Shonen Jump thing. Because they're longer singularly contained chapters, I think they're just adapting one an episode so far, and that's doing great for it.
Yeah, I think that works well because the length of one of their chapters is for a normal weekly one, it's 3 chapters length, which is about always how I feel the right length for an anime episode. It's about 50 to 60 pages. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Also, it feels very throwback in various sort of ways, both the relationship between the two adult characters and sort of the weekly ghost to be taken care of.
It's just to be talking about cursed videotapes in 2020.
Well, I presume it's retro. That the teacher is not only into spooky stuff but also retro things.
Yes.
It wasn't even a VHS tape. It was actually a DV videotape off a camcorder. And okay, wow, I haven't seen one of those in a while. Not since college.
Then we got Helck, episode 4, Shock, in which we find ourselves fighting against these winged armored knights, who we learn within the episode are artificially created heroes. They've all become heroes.
So they've done something to the humans to make them sprout wings for one fucking thing. That's a very obvious sign. But to make them into heroes. And they're all everyone's watching Helck because what's he gonna do? Who's he gonna side with? And he knows one of the main ones who's hello, it's me, Helck. I've retained my personality.
Good for you.
He's Edo, a beautiful man with silver hair.
I did your one kind of coming back and was haha, I chopped off one of your wings and I grew my arm back as is perfectly normal. I bet you humans can't even grow back your stupid wings that you have recently. And all the other demon guys are just dude, it's not normal to grow your arm back. That's not a thing the rest of us can do. But she keeps referring to him as handsome. So is her thing going to be saying whether she thinks guys are hot or not? Because that seems to be a consistent thing in her character.
Also, she's really just failing to hide the fact that Vimirio is our assistant for management.
And for management isn't who she seems, but she is good at baiting this made hero, because it's kind of I'm getting information out of him. I'm pretending that I'm oh no, my hand is chopped off. Haha, I can grow my hand back, motherfucker. She's good at lying and stuff, and for management is
this is
really
only a manager, just going to kick in your ass, blowing you out of the sky, no problemo.
And the man's like, what? That's just like a manager? Holy shit, we're in a lot of trouble. And she's like, excellent lie, says Vermilio. It's just like good stuff.
But the ground is given way.
Well, this is after, because
Yes.
she goes to strike Edil, doesn't she? And Helck blocks the blow, and they're like, oh, goodness, Helck's a traitor. But then Edil then gets eviscerated by another one of the knights instead, and then the ground gives way. So we're in that confusion.
Yeah, Helck says something along the lines of, you got to get back from him. And I was like, oh, is he going to explode? I was like, oh no, the ground's collapsing. Like, I guess that's also dangerous, but how did you know that was going to happen? But yeah.
It is interesting that we're 4 episodes in and we don't really know much about Helck or his personality at this point. It was like, and this was the episode where it, like, firmly made, okay, Vermilio essentially is our main character at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's her mystery of like, what the hell is
this Helck guy? Yeah.
It's fun dropping things here and there, like, it's just like it's only him and her brother who should be like, they're like the assigned heroes. The rest of these ones are like, we've rolled our own characters, but they aren't the main characters really, but they actually ain't as good. Or they aren't as good as yet. To stress that, like, we haven't figured out.
So they all reclassed into hero, but none of them are as high a level as Helck yet. But your man's like, I could feel my level increasing with each battle. So it's like, presumably they could get as strong as Helck.
There's this note of pity from him, though. So it's like, oh, you got wings. Good for you. He's like, yeah, with him and personality as well. Not like all the rest of these guys. It's like, yeah, man, that's really nice. He's like, as if he knows you're going to lose your personality. You're going to be subsumed by this force now, no matter how hard you try. And it's just like, because he knows that, like, the sense we're getting of it is like being the hero is not always cracked up to be.
Yeah, and the other thing from these winged knights, they're all very threatening. It's like, oh, they're surrounding you, watch out. And then everybody was just like, fireball? And one just sets on fire, goes like, and it's like, we could just shoot them. It's grand. They're just fucking guys. We can kill them. It's no problem. So
yeah, she's summoning some sort of like fire beast, isn't she, to take them down before everything collapses, and they find themselves underground, and they're in the chamber where there's this magical stone that they use to keep away the miasma that turns creatures into those, the New World.
Yeah,
beasts,
bad monsters.
To keep away the monsters in the but there's a portal right above it, and the guy who stabbed him through mentioned something about a failed portal.
Oh, opening the path is what they call it. But
yes,
they've opened the portal using this stone because they noticed this knight swords have made like a magic symbol around the stone. And the only way they're going to be able to close the portal is by destroying the stone. And while everybody else is safe because of Dorsh's amazing barrier that he's finally
my beans have kicked in.
It's been a half an hour. I can put up the field now. It should be bigger. That just tells you how powerful this portal is. That's sucking everything towards it like a black hole. And he says, like, everyone must maintain perfect silence. I must keep perfect concentration. But he's still correcting everyone constantly. So it's like, I think it's taking that much concentration. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been a fun character the past 2 episodes. And I'm going to guess we're not going to see him for a while based on how this episode ends. Yeah, so Vermilio goes out to destroy the stone to close the portal, which she manages to do, but then she's at risk of getting sucked into the portal. So what's going to happen? Here's Helck to save her.
Reaches out a hand to grab her, grabs her hand. He's also in midair, so not great.
Nice gesture, though. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, so this will further confuse her next episode. She gets sucked through the portal. She wakes up. She can smell something lovely. It's so nice and warm. And then she wakes up. She's on the desert island, and the thing she can smell that was nice is Helck's cloak that he'd wrapped her up in. And then she's like, "Where on earth am I?" And that's where
on Earth.
Leave her is presumably Helck's on this island, given that his cloak's here as well.
Yeah.
Only the cloak made it. The rest of him was vaporized in the wormhole.
But yeah, it was a very breezy half hour of fighting, and then underground D&D-esque peril.
Yeah. Like she's gonna come up like like the dark world that has like to be Aspa, but they seem to have a little like good society going on at one day, and she's probably gonna be on Earth. Is this the weather's lovely here, but the people, oh my god, they have got a rough go of it. So no wonder they're trying to take us out.
And it's got the post-credits thing of, if you were wondering how she changed her hair, she got a haircut. That's good. Your man, what's his name? Not
Azadora doesn't want to haircut.
No, it's gonna ruin your character design.
That's your whole fucking design. It's your whole look. If you get a haircut, it's not going to be you, and I will fight to the death.
If you're ditching the giant hat, keep the hair. I mean, come on, it gets one or the other with me, please.
So she sets him a light so he can go back to the infirmary. He rushes out after her hair has been cut. He's like, haha, too late. My hair has been cut. And he's like, no, it suits you, actually. As he falls over, like bleeding, as he usually does. Is this guy ever, like, in the opening, he's not injured, but he's going to be injured constantly, because it is a very funny joke.
I don't know. We'll see.
No change.
Yeah.
That was help for this week. Then we've got me and Roboco, episode 17. I guess I should really put these at the start because these did take place way in the past. These should be with a solitary exception of. Episode 17, Motsuo and Gorilla. Do you like Kaguya-sama? Do you wish it involved the two bullies from Doraemon instead of the main leads?
Would you more be concerned about trying to admit friendship, but toxic masculinity not allowing you to, that kind of thing?
Gotta be Kim, say it first.
So yeah, it's 2.5 minutes of our two boys trying to trick the other one into saying that they're their best friend.
And if as soon as he gets the other guy to say it, one of them is going to say, "It's like, I'm going to say it back, but I want you to say it first." And they use various word games and mind games on each other, basically.
So thank God I did a test on you, the friendship test. Yeah. Oh, I'm being an idiot on myself, saying you're my best friend. Phew.
And of course, it is Bungo who saves them from their terrible situation that they put themselves in.
What do you mean? You guys are best friends, right? It's just like, yeah, we are. And then the ugly crying.
They ugly crying. Bungo's like, why are you crying? He's like, come in here. You're our best friend too. And he's like, he starts ugly crying. And Roboco is in the background going like, the fuck's going on over here? I thought this was my show. It's good.
Then we've got Undead Murder Farce, episode 5, The Immortal of London. Did you not have enough literary characters previously? Well, here they all are.
It's a barrage of them.
Fuck yeah. Oh, so good.
So Lupin has stolen a gem from the Phantom of the Opera, which is...
And the Phantom of the Opera, he is also stolen from the opera.
And in return for returning the gem, he wants his help in stealing something from Phineas.
I like the way it was set up where the Phantom is obviously tied up on the chair, and he's giving the backstory. It's like, yes, you originally came from Persia, and all this fucking thing. And it's like, and it's like, and I need you to help me steal some other things in London. It's like, that's the thing of Sherlock Holmes, and it's like, and in France there is, and he's already untied himself, and it's like, you're a Lupin the Third. So the Phantom of the Opera is a fucking escape artist. Fucking yes. Good shit.
And they totally got something going on. It was like Lupin to say, okay, here's going to be a plan for a heist. After you got sculpted out, I'm just going to be fucking doing my exercises off the sculpted back muscles.
See, that would have been fine. It would have been fine to show Lupin doing his like crunches from the ceiling, like shirtless and all that kind of jazz. But the fact that they very specifically chose to animate him having like erect nipples, I think, is a very specific choice that enhances the horniness.
Ooh, the cool breeze in the balcony. It's refreshing.
It's cold in England, would you know?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Phineas Fogg has hired 2 sets of detectives to help him protect his gem. Aya, of course, and of course Sherlock Holmes. But Sherlock Holmes catches our heroes stealing from a walking stick shop.
walking stick shop. Yeah, and Holmes was there because he was trying to buy a new walking stick. This wasn't just like a random coincidence. It's like, no. This is I frequent this place. Yeah.
And then all of them end up getting arrested.
They he accosts them in an alley. He's like, "You fucking stole the ledger from that shop. I'm gonna need you to return that." And then some criminals like, "We're gonna rob you." And then the police are like, "All of you are criminals. All of you are coming to the thing." And I like that they're all waiting for the cop to get to the page that has Sherlock Holmes's picture on it, because like they know that Sherlock Holmes is wanted. But in the meantime, they're going to solve the crime of what these other two twins are in for.
Yes.
Between Aya and Sherlock Holmes, they're going to figure it out.
I was expecting the twins to be Lupin and the Phantom in disguise, but we do cut to them during this scene, which suggests that they're not.
The Phantom's disguise is to just walk around in a hat, watching things, and I'm just like, well, he's not wearing his mask, so you wouldn't know it was him.
Yeah, it's like, he's going to his bastard. Yes, you were hideously deformed in the face. That's why you wear a mask. He's kind of like a birthmark over one eye, isn't that?
Yeah,
you know.
Fine.
Yeah, it's the Doctor Doom thing of like, yeah, he wasn't badly injured in the experiment. He then made it worse by sticking a metal mask on his face.
I think Doctor Doom made it better by sticking the metal mask on his face because it's branding, and it's the same with the Phantom. It's just like, it's not that disfiguring, and it's like, oh, but the mask makes you hotter. Ah, I see what you're doing. Branding, good.
So they all end up they divert them to Phineas Fogg's, including the two.
Fucking Passport 2 fucking season around. I was like, all my childhood heroes are here. This is great.
It just told we gotta fucking get in Frankenstein's time machine.
No, Frankenstein shows up later.
Yes.
Moriarty says to Frankenstein, hey Victor, will you pass me the newspaper over here? And I was just like, fucking yeah, this it's good.
They've not named the other three, have they? They've not named the coachman, the woman, or the redhead.
No, I don't believe that. Who's clearly like another Oni, but he's just sitting around going, not thinking about it.
He's clearly the guy who took the head off.
Yeah, I thought for a minute. I wonder if like the lady be Irene Adler, considering it's Holmes and all that.
I've been to the website, so I know which literary character it is, and it's
okay.
It is another literary character, though. I can't remember if the coachman is on the website. I think everybody else is.
Okay.
So if you don't want to know who those people are, don't visit the website.
No, I mean, like, I was excited by Lupin, Phantom of the Opera, Passport 2, and Phileas Fogg fucking showing up. Like, I was just...
There's the two dudes as well who were annoyed at the detectives. I can't remember what their deal was. They're dressed
God, there's some...
They're like the special, like, holy cops.
Because when we cut to Moriarty, he's just having, like, dinner or something, and reading the newspaper, and just... Or gets Frankenstein to pass him the newspaper, and he's just like, that damn French Lupin, he keeps stealing everything I want to steal. Little bastard. And yeah, they got that crowd in on it, and they're numbered based on their power level on their jacket, and also they have ridiculous code names. Is the thing we learn about them. So we get like 7 of the 7th of the organization. They're all from different countries as well, and the guy who seems to be a germaphobe.
Yeah, this episode is basically like putting all the cast on stage, waiting for everything to fall apart. Episode as Lupin puts his plan into action.
And it was one thing of all these weirdos from different books and literary kind of backgrounds to kind of appear in Phileas Fogg's gigantic museum mansion that Passport 2 shows him around. It's like, so altogether you have like 313 men or something like that guarding this place from Lupin in blue Beefeater kind of uniforms rather than the red ones. I guess because red's royal or something. I don't fucking know. But he's like, come here, I'll show you into my vault, says Phileas Fogg. And it's like, what the fuck is this entire underground complex? What's going on here? It's like, I don't know, I was here when I bought the place, honestly. It's like, yeah, there's something going on here. What's the name of the vault? Because it has an ominous as fuck name as well.
Yeah, I can't recall. It will come back to me when I watch the next episode. But yeah, this was ramping up the absurdity from the last story in a most enjoyable fashion.
It's a giant room in this giant underground complex underneath a giant museum mansion in the middle of London somehow that has a moat around it. That's important as well.
Yeah. And Lupin also said, I'm going to steal the diamond and the safe that it's in. Because the diamond is an artificial diamond. Why would that be valuable? Because this and the safe is kept in are the last remaining like treasures of the dwarven race.
Yeah.
That's it. Yes, I forgot we got a flashback to dwarves.
Yeah, so it's like it's one thing to go into this fucking crazy underground mansion shit and the vault that has a very ominous name and the little safe that's inside the bigger safe that's sat on a golden throne, and it's like, this sounds like it was a torture chamber, right? And it's like, let's not fucking question it. It's fine. Let's just keep going. So the vault and the artificial diamond were the last things made by these German dwarves who were wiped out by werewolves, and they put this diamond, which presumably will kill the werewolves, in a silver box. So werewolves couldn't open it, basically.
I spent years trying to figure out the combination. Keep close to
But
madness.
it's a puzzle box. Phileas Fogg figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
And the diamond has an
Stage
inscription on it as
set.
well. It has a riddle inscripted on it, on its artificialness. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's good shit, man.
we checked the vents. We just pointed out, hey, this won't happen like for another like century or so. Kids and all these things called action films, but check the vents.
yeah, because your man's like, okay, so there's a moat around. That's pretty good. Is there like a connection onto the thing? Yeah, there's a connection onto the Thames, but it's like, all right, bar that up. Or what about the vent to this vault? And it's like, well, like a child can get down it. And there's all kind of bends in it, so like a human couldn't go through it. That they didn't think that bit through, and he's like, that's probably fine then.
Mm-hmm.
All the time though, I was still thinking it's less absurd than the third Professor.
I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm imagining the vault that Lupin is going to steal isn't the small silver one, but the gigantic one that it's set in. And I wouldn't be surprised if that entire underground complex is built around some sort of ancient rocket ship. I don't fucking like. They can do anything at this stage. That's how fucking fast they're ramping it.
It's gonna fucking
Yes.
if we're going down this art direction, this kind of setting, let's go full board, and this fucking he shows up, he fucking changes the thing to a zeppelin, and it takes off.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this was. I just like the fact that Moriarty's in this story as well, even though last episode he said he wasn't going to get involved in this story.
But it's just him reading about it in the
It's
paper,
just in
basically.
the paper. He can't help see it. Is a fun thing. Sorry, boss. The headlines. I knew you probably gonna make a blood boil. I tried to keep him here, and saying, Frankenstein, get me more tea.
I really like the Sherlock Holmes design because he somehow invokes multiple different actors who played Sherlock Holmes at
Kind of
once.
handsome, pointy, but like kind of gaunt and like the slick backness.
Yeah.
There's like a bit of
Bird-like.
Cumberbatch in there. There's definitely some Rathbone in there.
He looks like Sherlock Holmes. Which one? Yes, Sherlock Holmes. That guy.
Yeah.
I like their Watson as well. He isn't just like, why
Yeah.
do you so? Which is, he's kind of going, what's from Holmes? Just fuck these guys. I'm fucking just I don't like them. Okay, it's just, he's very like fun. Holmes, let's not talk to them. All right.
I also appreciate when they kind of confronted them in the alley initially. Watson was like, "Oh, I'm about to fucking throw hands. Let's fucking go." Because I was like, "Yeah, action hero Watson. That's my Watson."
This is very kind of surly and ordinary. He's just kind of
Yeah.
at a very low simmer all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they tell me all about Jujutsu Kaisen, Season 2, Episode 29, Premature Death.
1 year later.
Yeah, it does a time skip.
Yes. And each of them are trying to, still reckoning with their kind of failure of things before. Supposedly it'll be fine, it's likely that another vessel has been born into the world already, so don't be like letting that mission weigh you too much. But Gold's just been putting the work in now. He's just like, I'm going to have a select my phone 6 eyes to be able to kind of sense anything and rank it according to level of threat to me and stop it.
I have my thing
about it.
They practice it by throwing an eraser and a pencil at him, and he stops the pencil because it's sharp, but it doesn't stop the eraser because it's it's just going to bounce off him, because like it can identify objects based on their danger level, and it's automatic. And it's like, isn't that going to cause you a bunch of brain damage? He's like, don't worry, I'm also running the technique to heal my brain damage as it's being damaged. What could go wrong? It's the flawless technique. It's always on. and it heals itself. So win-win-win. Nothing can get me, Gojo. I'm never going to get caught like that again, basically.
I'm never going to get brain damage out of this. Never, ever.
No way.
Not 10 or 15 years from now. Nope, no way. But Ghetto is like taking this a little bit harder. He's just like kind of more into himself because he's thinks on and on about nothing. Did all that, and that girl got taken out from that, and then this cult of fucking sorcerers, these non-sorcerers, meant to be from Italy, this kind of that want to steal their bios, these arcane names, and they're fucking clapping and cheering and this kind of thing. He's just like has that mole in the shop and saying, "Fucking why? Just why shouldn't I?
Why am I protecting humans? Fuck them, basically. Like, what have they ever done for me? They just got a girl. They paid a guy to get a girl killed. That fucking sucked. And I like the way it uses not only the flashback to seeing them clap, but just the sound of clapping as this like horrific thing for him. Especially later when he's having the conversation.
In his first bit of sound of that shower head as well.
Yeah, with the shower head, and later on when he's having the conversation, it starts raining, and you hear the clapping rather than rain sound effect, which is very similar, but it's like a traumatic thing to him. And I was just like, it's very well framed anyway. Yeah.
He comes out of the shower, and then there's what's his name, Yu Haibara. He's like the very like I will go up and go. I'm a chipper my kind of guy. It's fun to say. I think you're a good person, Ghetto. I know how to judge people. It's like, sure, yeah, that's cool, man. Later, tragic circumstance, he goes off on a fun mission with fucking who's the cool dude with the
has to divide things up into 3/7 or something. I forget now how his thing works.
Yeah, he's cool. Like no, but like not fun. Saying they said it was going to be level 2 curse, but it was this fun. Like it was a fucking like level 1 curse fun. He wasn't ready for it, man. He wasn't ready for it. On the fun going over his fun body. He's like, oh man, no way.
Half of him on the slab in the morgue. Yeah.
Too happy and balanced to live, unfortunately. Yeah. But it comes as well Yuki Tsukumo, who was another one of the kind of renegades of the sorcerer world, a bit like Gojo is, and she's been off doing this and that. Just kind of sits down and says, "Hey man, get off and what's getting you down?" So you're thinking about the whole problem, about that girl you couldn't save, and about the whole sorceress, non-sorceress thing, because it's a fun fucking vicious cycle, man. It's just the curses are born off like negative energy. As long as there are people, it's going to be negative energy, except for sorcerers, because they're
sorcerers can control the flow of their stuff. Like they let it out as powers, and they control it. They actually let off very little curse energy to the point where that no sorcerer has ever made a curse. So it's only humans that make curses. So there's 2 possible solutions to stopping all curses forever. What was the first one? It was
first of it is just like this guy like somehow change on sorcerers and sorcerers, but this is actually like a biological thing.
Change the nature of how that kind of energy flows. It's like that's a difficult one. Not sure how you'd manage that. Second one is make all humans into sorcerers, and that way they could regulate their own flow, and they wouldn't be generating any curses. That's an achievable one, honestly. Yeah.
No. The more extreme one was the other solution is to kill all non-sorcerers. Then there wouldn't be any more curse. Then it would be kind of negative energy that couldn't be controlled flying around.
And she's like, "Yeah, I mean that'd work, honestly. Yeah, that would do it."
But she's kind of like thinking as well on the big picture. That's why she's kind of like on the yacht so many of these, like it's just, and this is how in a way the way Gojo was thinking as well as this one. The system is completely just rigged up the wrong way. Because while we're kind of serving these guys, we set this like air of superiority over them, and that can express itself in ugly ways. And that's what Ghetto was kind of getting through as well. One saying, "Why am I putting on that badge? Why am I doing that at all?" If one saying, "Well, if the badges have got to do this, so I will get rid of the badge." Because he goes like on a mission, like to there are 2 young girls who are being tried as witches.
They put a hex on my cow or something like that. They have these old women, and your man's just like, "No, they're not cursed. I can see if they're cursed or not, or I can see curses. It's not them." And it's like, "No, it totally is them. Fucking take them out and shoot them." And he's just like, "They're just 2 little girls. Come outside with me a sec, would you?" And he just murders everyone in the entire village, basically.
Yeah. She just fun. He goes rogue. He goes MIA. Full order out, fun search and destroy, fun capture and or kill on site. He's out. fun. Gojo fun doesn't know what to make it is. Tie you with my boy, tie you with my kind of guy.
When the kill order is out on him, he does meet up with
it was Shoko out in the streets. She was,
and she just rings up Gojo. It's like, yeah, he's here. Yeah.
Mm.
No, I'm not gonna go at him. What the hell? I don't want to die. What are you talking about? Get out of here. You come down here and get him. So Gojo comes down. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude? That what they're saying didn't happen." And he's like, "Yeah, it did. Like if you want to, like, basically," and he kind of confronts him as like, "Listen, we all can't be as powerful as you because you can fucking change the world. And what I'm trying to do is change the fucking world. So you're just saying it's impossible because you're not fucking doing it. Why don't you do the thing I'm trying to fucking do? Because you got the power to do it, whereas I'm just going to try it regardless of not having your level of power."
Yeah, is the strength you've had because of Satoru Gojo, or your Satoru Gojo because of the strength?
Yeah, which way does it flow? Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to say. Like, it's just totally fucking like Point Break. I want to take you out, right, man? Fun saying no, you won't. It's just like,
And I mean, like, they are in a very crowded downtown kind of thing. So it's just like, yeah, his one isn't subtle about he's got super control over it, but it's not exactly like he would take out a lot of civilians. And as is pointed out, it's like, is that not worth it if you save a lot of lives down the line? And Gojo's like, no, I can't really take out a bunch of civilians, though.
No. So they're at cross purposes. They're going walking their own ways. But they kind of see as well, the way we gotta try and do is we gotta start moving. We gotta try and pass this on to the next generation. So Geto does this by this cult. Roboco, they're got enough weirdos in here already, guys. Gotta come in here. Show him who's boss by killing their leader or one of them in front of
I like them just walking in. It's like, all of you fuckers work for me now. Also, I'm changing the name and purpose of the organization. And it's like, there are objections. It's like, oh, come up here and tell me your objections. Just crushes them into a pulp. All right, you all work for me now, monkeys. Is basically the way he puts it.
Woo! And Gojo catches up with a young, you're gonna make me Fushiguro fun, saying, "Hey kid, yeah, you're being that one of those big families to hear that. Say, I knew your dad." It's like, yeah, you've seen my dad? I haven't seen him in a while. How's he getting, man? It's like, yeah. Anyways, you're probably gonna be like, someone like fun who's gonna be making great waves in this world. So, just come to me. The fun. Just like, anything you need, tell him I sent you. You just kind of reaching out to the kids, thinking like, this guy's gonna be like, a crucial piece. We're going to be seeing this kind of this playing piece with all these families. It's this sorcerer families now. I've seen this happen like a dozen times before, probably because from experience. So it's just like, I'm going to try and reach out to this kid right now and just show him that there's another way we can possibly approach this. You don't have to be this pawn in all these games.
And I like the way, like, again, like, it does all this dark stuff, but it still has a bunch of humor in it. Like, when Gojo first sees the kid, it's like he's making like a really wincing face. It's like, why are you making that face at me? It's just like, no, you just look exactly like your dad. It's fucking weird. And it isn't that he becomes a moody teenager. It's that he was always moody, like because he's a preschooler now. Yeah. He's a very, very moody preschooler. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like it was just after again, nobody got back. Hey, Sensei, wake up! Oh, it took like even like Sensei falls asleep sometimes. It's like, oh, I was having a little dream of the past, a little reverie. But now it's like, these kids are gonna be okay. Who we haven't some of them we haven't seen or even read about or seen animated in like better part of a year or more in most more cases. So
yeah.
I just want to check and see whether the next one is a different one. It's like, look at the preview. I think it's before it does, a recap of the film again, and then it comes on to it?
Yeah, 2 recaps, I think, and then it's back with the Shinjuku incident.
Yeah, I'll see what this next bit is, what it's referring to. And if it bodes ill, we'll put it down for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I just kind of part of the story, and I kind of like this. Again, it really kind of it hits you like over and over again with like, no, this is like the flashback to the events of 10 or 15 years ago when this was the mid 2000s, and it's all like things you still seem like are modern, like recent inventions. In your perspective, just like, oh yes, in the distant past they had mobile phones with like internet coverage and everything.
Back when our teacher characters were kids, and it was like, our teacher characters are like not much beyond their 30s. Like, they're not that fucking old, basically.
Wow. About to launch into spoilers for much later on in the series. August 31st is the next episode.
Okay.
Okay, so they're really spreading this out.
You can put your feet up for a bit.
Hmm.
Then we've got on the docket Bungo Stray Dogs, Season 5, Episode 54, Hero War, Gang War, in which everyone gets turned into vampires.
Pretty much, yeah. It's kind of the bulk of what happens. Honestly, it's fun. It's like it's spread quite quickly, quite deeply. Like surprisingly so. And
So we
fucking
get-
poor Atsushi, just got the gang back together. Before we go to crack this case, nope, you've all been completely messed up. You've unmasked the leader of this terrorist organization. You knocked the shit out of you, and you've all been turned, and most of you been turned into vampires as well. Just can't catch a fucking break with these.
So we continue from where we last left off. It's like, I'm gonna undo the time and kill you to make sure you can't do your getaway plan. It's like, haha, you killing me was part of my getaway plan because I made sure that when you cut my fucking throat, you'd also cut that fire extinguisher, and also the hole I cut that looked like my original plan was to the submarine so he could get away. And he's like, I could probably catch up to him if I started swimming now. But then some guards are like, oh, sir, we see you need some help. And he's like, should I go back in time and kill those guards before they get
And
here?
specifically, though, it's the guard who they spared last episode. And it's implied that he was slowing them down deliberately to allow Atsushi to get away in his little comments to Asakawa's corpse.
Where he's
The
just like,
corpse
yeah,
not for
like,
much longer, because guess what? I've got Bram Stoker in a coffin over here.
hey, wake up, wake the fuck up. It's like, how many years has it been since I died? And he's just like, it's been like 4 months. He's like, what the fuck, dude? Why are you getting me up so early?
2 weeks was the last time. He says, when was the last time I saw you? How many years has it been? 2 weeks. What?
And he's like, fucking put me back to bed. It's like, all right, wake up this goth kid. It's like, no, I do not bite my own. I do not turn my own.
Yeah, but there's also like a reference to something which I'm sure is going to play out down the line about the 10 somethings that he was part of. So probably there was some other ability user organization in the past. But he just refused to turn anybody else vampires, and then he very quickly succumbs to agreeing when the holy sword that is inserted in. So should also say, Bram Stoker is only a body from like halfway of his torso up.
Down, he's a bust, like from the shoulders up, basically, and the rest of him is just a sword. And as soon as I saw that, I was thinking, it's just like, that's a good way to control him, but also, doesn't that technically make him a weapon? And it's like, correct. I was quite right about that, because you can swing him around on the end of a sword. That's a weapon.
It's also like, Kikushi's plan is fantastic because he somehow put together this conspiracy of 5 people, 4 of which don't know his identity, and 4 of which would probably turn on him if they knew what he was actually planning.
Yeah. But he's feeling the pinch of it now, which is nice to see. Like, so he's got all figured out with his phone and saying, fuck, we've got away with it. This guy, keep the ruse up. This guy, stay calm, gotta keep the ruse up fun with small smiles, wave to the cameras, so I'll be fine. He's like, a little bit of panic is setting in on him.
Yeah, he says he's got to keep the tense up for 6 days. 6 days is how long he's going to keep this.
Why does I've forgotten what's the reason for the time limit on it? It's been a while.
I
think
it's
when
the
the
reveal
page
at the
can
end.
be used next.
There's a timer on the page. Okay,
yeah.
it's inbuilt to the page. Okay, that's fine. I wasn't sure why. It was just like, why didn't you do it now? I was like, I couldn't remember why there was a clock on it, basically.
Yeah,
but
and I think the implication is also he's got to set up the event so the thing which happens
so that it has a logical consistency.
That ability device to hand over to him to use against these terrorists, not knowing that they're handing it directly to the terrorist. Obviously, that's why they discussed the sword last episode, is because they wanted to introduce the idea of there's these devices created by ability users which have got the abilities infused in the devices, and now we're going
Which, if you have an ability of yourself, you can actually add to that or subtract from that kind of thing.
But
they're already dangerous on their own, but
and unlock the most dangerous one and hand it over to the most dangerous man.
But the thing is as well, like, you can just always reproduce those, and you can just create a fucking massive weapons market of just that, and even a civilian or that could be outfitted with ability beyond mortal ken.
So we have our Port Mafia / hunting dogs member who's going to can we not investigate into this thing? Listen, I'm sure it's the guys being the terrorists, but I think there's a mastermind in their thing that we don't know about, because we're talking about abilities that we know none of them have. So there must be another guy. do you mind if I investigate into that? And the boss is like, nah, I don't think we need to look into that. We just need to catch the detectives. And once we catch them, we'll have the whole organization wrapped up. It'll be grand. It's like, cool. I got this evidence. I know I broke it in that other episode, but I used my metal powers to put it back together. So I want to give it to that cop. Or actually, he's not a cop. He's a... it's the guy with the glasses.
It is the detective. No, it's,
what is the detective? Sorry.
No, it's the detective he wants to hand it to, not Ango. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could give this to him because I think it actually is part of their terrorist plan. And I'm totally not thinking that I'm on their side kind of thing. Is I was like, I'm gonna give it to him, and your man's like, oh, fucking give it to him. I'm gonna go meet up with him. So if you can hand it to me, that'd be great. Just hand it to me. And he's like, cool. I'll just text him and let him know you're coming. He's like, stop, fucking doing this shit. All right, I'm trying to destroy the evidence that you gathered. Okay, shut up. He's getting very frustrated, working both sides. Yeah.
Yes, but it turns out it was not the same USB device. It was a tracking device. So lure him to a place full of metal because he's still working for Mori. Mori, who's apparently one of the few people in the Port Mafia not turned into a vampire at this point.
They had a little vampire outbreak because when you're, what's your one who fancies him? When she saw him randomly in an alley, he's like, dude, we just had your funeral. Are you okay? I'm going to confess my feelings. And he grabs her and he's like, no, it's too soon. It's like, no, I'm going to vampire bite you and you're going to vampire bite the other Port Mafia guys. And it spreads like a zombies thing.
And she was like, no, you just, I know everyone just kind of hired on. There's this, like, does not belong in this world in the slightest.
No.
Somehow there's like a bit like kind of like Rock and Black Lagoon. I really shouldn't be the type of person this is, but I know I just roll with it.
Her problem is that she's competent and therefore she's actually risen fairly high in the organization that she does not belong in.
Yeah, I think the only ones we've not seen get turned into vampires by the end of this episode are the ones who were like one-shot throwaway villains in series 1. On the train.
The lemon guy, yeah.
Yeah.
What about Chuya, the gravity boy?
Oh yes, no, we didn't see him get bit. Yeah, you're quite right.
Yeah, we haven't seen him get bit because he's away doing something for some reason.
Like the last time we saw him, he was helping them escape the hunting dogs, right?
He was leading out of a helicopter looking super fly.
Yeah.
So the fight goes well because yes, magnetism powers are great against somebody who uses swords. So you can't slash the past if you can't move your sword into the past to do it. But it is all for naught. And
fucking Bill and Ted rules. Fucking bullshit. After I defeat you, I'll have cut a signal to warn me that you're going to defeat me. Therefore, I'm not going to get defeated because I knew it beforehand. And I'm going to stab into this area and lure you to that area so you get stabbed by me from the past in the future, which is the present now. And I was just like, fuck off with your fucking bullshit goddamn power.
And then I'm going to stop you from killing yourself so I can turn you into a vampire as well.
I'm going to cut out your eyes so you can't use magnetism on me, though. So, Will that be cured by vampirism? I don't fucking know. Cured.
I mean, Atsugawa was pretty much up and running again.
Again, I think his head was like off on like a hinge of skin. Pretty much. It was the Constitution.
We do see other things where, like, there's a coup happening in pretend country, and there's like, sire, you need to stay inside, and the president's son is a vampire, and the UN or whatever they're called, they're just like, everyone's quitting the UN due to being vampires. Should we fucking call the super cops already?
Order. We're fighting in a war room.
Unlock whatever the device is called. I can't remember.
We gotta give that artifact to our
combinator. I don't know what it was. Yeah.
Yes. We'll give the artifact to our most trustworthy guy who we want to be king of the cops and is working both sides. Yeah, that would be great.
He hasn't got any vested interest in setting this up, does he? Nah,
he's totally cool. What are you talking about?
He's legit.
Yes, because that's his worry, isn't it? Is that the moment someone suggests that the terrorism is being done to create the conditions that he's being put himself in, that his spell
that is giving him more power, kind of. Yeah.
False flag.
He's already come undone with what Rampo's learned.
Yeah.
So it's like with that additional little bit of information, then it would completely unravel. So I guess Rampo might have to get out of his book at some point. And
It just goes plot hole. No, it's not.
It was an ape that climbed down the chimney. It's always an ape that climbed down the chimney.
This is contrived. No, it's not. It's my super good plan.
Yeah, so this is the arc which hasn't finished in the comics yet.
I'm enjoying it, but the fact that I don't know how it's, or not that I don't know, that I don't know when it's going to end, this is kind of like a bit worrying. All right, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's fine for, like, you know, hey, it's obviously it's been running on for a while, but so much happens. So it just never stops. There's no breaks on it at all.
Yeah, this was chapters 88 to 90. Yes, it's a lot of fun. It's nice to see our villain sort of hot under the collar, but then yes, he comes out on top. It's like a good wrestling match. It's like the bad guy gets the heat for a bit, and the good guys come back a bit, and then oh no, that guy's back on top. He's won this bout, but we know we've still got some good guys waiting in the wings to take him down. How are they going to do it?
But it was the same thing I was thinking for like a good JoJo fight where we switch to the villain's perspective. Is like, okay, here's my ultra cheap powers. How do I beat these assholes? How do I play all the fucking angles here? I'm really fucking sweating now. That kind
Usually,
of
very infuriated and very petty fun. And I want to just die already. Oh,
yeah. But fortunately, our antagonist has already has a fairly cheap power. I multiply the power of everything I use. I have a magic sword. That's a very cheap one. That would be crap on anyone else's hands, but it's really good in my hands. And also I have Bram Stoker on the end of a stick. So I'm gonna win everything basically.
Yeah, and the large part of this plan does seem to hinge on turning a lot of people into vampires. I don't know whether the full intention is to turn everybody on the planet into vampires.
They'll all be under his control because they're all under the thrall of the main vampire, and he has the main vampire on the end of a sword. So
yes,
but it's also his power that's multiplying his ability to turn into vampires. Because generally, you wouldn't be able to make that many vampires. I think is one of the rules. I think, yeah.
Let's call it removing a variable.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've also had the explanation of how to turn all these people back. Is kill Bram Stoker.
We also have a character who could nearly kill people and bring them back. But yeah.
We also have a dude who can negate other abilities, and he's just sitting in it.
It's all very fixable, but it's all very fun.
Jail cell in the core of the earth right now.
That is true. I suspect that's a big reason why he's there, because yes, he
would solve all the problems of the plot. Yeah. Which is fine. Like, it's not that that's cheap. It's that it's not killing off characters and everything and turning them everyone in the UN into vampires. Is just like, yeah, this is all reversible, so let's just enjoy the fucking ride, basically. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and of course Bram Stoker is set up here. He'd be fine with having his ability switched off.
He just wants to sit in the coffin, and he wants a radio. That's one of his things. Is like, and I want one of the new devices, a radio, which is just like he doesn't want much.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a crazy scheme.
And
the fact that it's like now Dostoevsky is like the arch villain is pushed in the background, but it's like, how much of this plan does he even know? And is this somehow going to turn around to him having a babyface turn?
Having to work with the heroes against all his allied villains who all have their own evil plans running away, basically. Yeah. Yeah,
because Golgo he's declared himself against Dostoevsky, hasn't he?
For fun.
And Sigma, you're going to help me. Oh.
Yes. Sigma's a guy who's been brought into existence and therefore has his own struggles. Yeah, so there's plenty of opportunity for everybody to turn on Kikuchi by the end of this, which would be
like Sigma's brand new, so his allegiances are fairly fucking fluxy. Obviously, our guy as Kamui is doing entirely his own thing, seemingly. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and you wonder how many of the hunting dogs are going to have to be turned into vampires to stay on side with him. Yeah, it's fun times ahead. Then we've got the shorts. Hyakushou Kizoku, episode 5. I think it was called Vegetable Thieves because it was all about vegetable thieves.
Yeah.
First two, I think, were like people stealing things and then discovering they weren't the things they thought they'd stolen.
Or they were stealing a melon, but it wasn't ripe, and she's like, "Serves you fucking right." And the guy was stealing corn. It's like, "You fucking idiot! That's corn for the cows. You fucking deserve it." Yeah. People stealing, but like just like it's not ripe yet, so there's no point in taking it. So
the decoy patch to be that's a lot of the destroy.
But how mad she is that they just steal from an entire field. It's just a guy going like, ah, ha, ha, like with an armful of corn. I'm just like, is he really taking that much from me?
As well, but if everyone just took 6 months, there would be no more left, now would there?
But as she pointed out, like to her editor, it's just like, well, let me tell you the story my granny told me. She's like, oh, you must be the guys from the co-op. All right, good luck, guys. And then the husband's like, I didn't fucking order anyone from the co-op. It's like they stole like several tons of potatoes. What the fuck? That's a scheme. That's a good one.
And then the real dastardly thieves, though, are animals.
Initially, we all hate the bears and the deer that come in and eat our shit, but they do tell us when our crops are ready. So,
yes, this was the bit reminding me of like, oh yeah, farmers, bloody farmers. And then the punchline is the most terrible thief of all is that he's a chipmunk, and how she caught one that was planning on murdering it, but then. Or murdering, eating it as well. She's going to cook it.
Well, she's
as revenge. Yeah.
No,
yes.
Live in the land.
But he has its face is too adorable. But she lets it off. And then it does another little evil face as it leaves the show.
I was thinking about Chipmunk from Bono Bono. I was just
was I, yes.
That little fucker. He is cute, but like little bastard though.
I don't know. I mean, we've got an explanation though of how he might act out is because his sisters are awful and his parents aren't much better.
Yeah, no, this is a good one. It reminds me that like some of the few continuous people that tend to have guns in this country are farmers, because they are prone towards violence and bloodlust, as we're learning from this show.
The biggest thing to go into an encounter is, I don't know, a fox.
Yeah,
that's
pretty much. I don't think you need a shotgun for that, but you know.
Yep. I know these people. Some of these people are my friends. And when they start talking about their shotguns, I'm like, I'm going to mentally check out. Then finally, we got Ikimono-san, episode 5. Is this called Octopus?
Like they tend to be like episode whatever the thing is, and it's an octopus in this episode, but it might be tactical espionage action. I don't know what the subtitle is.
Octopus.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the aquarium, they're fascinated by the octopus's camouflage abilities. And so he imagines using the octopus as a way to rescue, I think her name's I from the game. The game itself does not look like this.
No, it's going for like a false, like 8-bit kind of look, but yeah.
Yes. Along with false 8-bit type music, yes. He manages to get past the kidnappers by using the octopus to disguise himself as rocks.
And the dog just lies down, because no one thinks anything about a dog just lying there. It's like, this is a dog, who cares?
And they rescue her. She's happy. She roller skates off. And then you go back to the aquarium where Ikimono's pointing at his thought bubble.
That could be us.
And the octopus swims away, making an ink cloud in the shape of a skull.
Oh. I'd rather die. Oh, okay. It's a bit of fun, man. It's only a cartoon, Jesus.
Yeah. I like the idea of showing the octopus your thought bubble as a way to.
How else are you going to explain it to an octopus? You don't share the language, so
they're pretty smart. You know.
They are. Yeah. I think you probably could teach an octopus English.
They can get concepts.
They can see thought bubbles.
You can use the action button.
Predict football matches. Is there anyone predicting the World Cup at the moment?
What have we moved on to now? What's the animal du jour right now? You know?
Yes.
The Meg. Well, What does the Meg think of World Cup?
Paul the Octopus, he's R.I.P. He died in 2010.
Mhm.
Octopuses don't live very long, yeah.
If he's such a good psychic, he would have been able to like communicate from beyond the grave. Even the grave can tame me.
Can't see any signs in the news of any animals predicting.
I think they have to get a few correct ones under their belt before they become a sensation.
Last year, apparently, there was a gibbon who predicted a Croatian win against Japan in the 2022 World Cup.
He made a little pinboard and everything. He had all the angles figured out. Poor little guy.
Yeah, there we go. That's the up-to-date news on animals predicting the World Cup.
Well, I predict we'll be back next week with more of this nonsense, won't we?
Well, slightly less if Zom 100.
A little less than that. Oh, I've already been gone.
Yes, no Zom, no Jujutsu Kaisen. So, that's fine. I've got comp events to prepare.
Yeah, that's true enough. Yeah. Well, we'd always, like, in case of emergency, break bastard and. Yeah, I haven't gotten around to that yet. Maybe I'll save it for this. But I did finish the new Grappler Baki. That was pretty alright. He was fighting a caveman.
Oh, the caveman's out! Brilliant. Excellent.
Oh yes, defrosted caveman.
Okay, good.
It's already gone so quickly, you know. Also, Obama turned up.
I did see that. Yes, he can.
I think Yujiro Hama has met most of the U.S. presidents in the last 20 or so years.
Yeah, he's in thick with him, it seems. Yeah.
Well, they have to have like an agreement to this. Okay,
they have to re-up their nuclear arms race with, we won't nuke you if you don't come over and beat up our entire country.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
We respect your right to kick people's asses that aren't ours. Good.
Radio. That's it for this week. We're back next week with some more of the same. Ta-da for now. Bye.
Bye.
Nighty-night.